Hello everyone, welcome back to another Shellcast match brought to you by Ratgoska. This game is going to be a 1 versus 1 on the ladder maps. We've got FXOmOoNan spawning as the red Terran in the north right position. And we've got vileSpanshwa spawning as the blue Zerg in the upper left corner. I did manage to pick this replay up from SC2replayed.com. I saw that game was on there. Heard about Spanishwa being on day 9. I believe it was last night. Yes, last night he was actually on there talking about this build that we're actually going to see him do, the Ice Fisher build, which is basically mass hatch, mass queen, and mass drones. I have had a chance to play this game against Mork personally. The first time I played him I was Protoss. I 4-gated him and managed to pull off a victory. The second time I faced him I spawned as Terran, and I was unable to secure the win as he had a counter to every single possible unit composition I could think of building. He was there, he countered it, and basically just rolled me with ultras at the end. Not a pretty sight, but we live and we learn as always. Meanwhile, we do have, looks like he is, one thing to know about this build is you do tend to go hatch first. So you want to get your hatchery right around 15. And then you want to build your spawning pool right after that. And then once the pool is finished, this hatchery should be done, and you start a queen producing here as well as here. And then right afterwards you want to get 2 more queens. So we'll see what kind of transition here our Terran player has for this, as it looks like he is just working on getting his gas up right now. Is constantly building those SCVs. As this barracks is about finished, he's going to get that orbital command thrown up right away. And yep, that hatchery is now going down, and I'm pretty sure as soon as we get to see him get to 200 minerals, he's going to get that spawning pool thrown down as well. And we have a tech lab opening up on that barracks, so going 1 racks tech lab, so we could possibly be seeing some kind of Reaper opening, as well as possibly some kind of, you know, just some really early aggression here. If you get those Reapers out right away, you can actually do pretty good damage. And yep, that's what it looks like. He is training up that Reaper right now. Meanwhile, we do have this SCV heading up here to the north, and it looks like this SCV is just kind of trailing behind. It looks like he wants to find out where that base is and get some bunkers put up right away. As we do have this SCV now heading into the base, and it looks like he's getting chased by those 2 drones. Unluckily for him, he did get scouted by that right away. And it looks like, yep, there he goes now throwing up that bunker. Meanwhile, it looks like both SCVs are getting harassed. So I don't know how well this bunker harassment is going to do, but it looks like that SCV was in the mineral line, so was able to be protected, but now is out in the open and getting worked on by those drones. Now it tucks back into the mineral line again, so it looks like that SCV is now currently safe. Ooh, the first SCV over here did get taken out. It looks like he did click on that, so it looks like he does have another SCV coming over here to finish that. Will this SCV get the bunker up in time? No, that SCV does get taken out. 3 seconds left on that bunker, so close to being finished. Meanwhile, we do have Reapers streaming across the map. Zerglings are now out on the field. Looks like this one Zergling does get taken out quite quickly. The Reaper does just gets 1 hit. Now he's working on taking out some of those drones. And do we have another SCV coming to finish those bunkers? Yes, we do. Surprised he didn't just salvage those, but it looks like he does want to continue with this bunker harassment. Queen now up here doing work on those bunkers, as we do have a second queen up here in the main. Looks like he did want to build a building there, but decided to cancel it instead, possibly trying to regenerate some of the life on that drone so it doesn't get taken out right away. Reaper now in the bunker working on taking out that queen. Queen escapes. SCV heading over. Looks like he's going to try and get that second bunker built up. Ooh, about halfway finished. Is he going to get that bunker finished in time? Ooh, looks like it's getting closer, getting closer. Now Queens look like they are working on taking out those SCVs, so I don't think that bunker is going to get finished. But he does have 2 Reapers over here starting to work on that expansion hatchery. Will he get more Reapers in there in time? He is also building a starport up in his main base, as he does have that factory with a tech lab on there, so could we possibly be seeing a Banshee transition from this? I wouldn't recommend it with this build just because he has so many queens out on the map, and queens do some pretty sick damage against Banshees. Meanwhile, queens are blocking way for the Zerglings. Zerglings are getting taken out. Now the Reapers are focusing down on those queens. It looks like he is trying to take 1 queen down to 80 health. Will that queen get taken out? We do have lots of transfusions available. Oh, there's the transfuse. Bring that queen back to life, and that bunker does get taken out. Meanwhile, Reapers are heading up, and it looks like the Reaper does make it up to the high ground. Just looks like he wants to scout out with the base with that, and that Reaper gets taken out. So it looks like this early harassment is over. Hatchery is down to 500 life. Meanwhile, we do have a second command center on our way for FXOmOoNan. Flying that factory out, wanted to swap that. Oh, he's now getting a Raven produced as well. So we'll see what kind of transition he decides to do, building 2 starports and a Raven right now. Meanwhile, down here we do have just a couple of Marines being built from that lowly barracks bunker going up as well. Do have that Overlord flying into position here as we do have those Ravens being built. Meanwhile, we look back at the Zerg base. He is continuing to drone, now gets all 4 gases thrown up right away. So it looks like we'll see what he can do with those gases. At the 7.5 minute mark, just finished his gas geysers, but he's got 4 geysers going completely saturated, and it looks like he is going to be able to do quite a bit with that. SCV is heading out. Does he want to throw up a secret command center or not? It looks like that Zergling did not spot that SCV. That seems weird. I figured that Zergling would be all over that SCV, but that SCV does manage to hide up here in the corner. We have another Raven being produced here from FXOmOoNan, and this starport is down here as well. So we have the 2 starports with tech labs, and he's going to need a heavy gas to be able to build this Ravens like this. These Ravens are very expensive. 200 gas, 100 minerals. Now throwing down 2 barracks. So it looks like he is going to use Marines to supplement that gas income, as that way his minerals don't get too high. Meanwhile, we do have several SCVs heading out right now. Where those SCVs heading, no one knows. Oh, looks like he is throwing bunkers down here at his natural expansion. Just wants to get this set up as quickly as possible. Oh, looks like he decides to go with some bigger, tougher buildings up in the front, as he is worried about a possible Baneling bust. And we do have a Baneling nest on the way. Meanwhile, 3rd base is now being built for FXOmOoNan, as we do have a 3rd command center being built for Moonan, and he is flying out that orbital command, and it looks like he is getting double refineries thrown up at his natural expansion. Meanwhile, it does have a nice strong wall in up here with this factory and these 2 barracks. So we're up to 4 racks play, 2 starport, and decided that that bunker was no longer worthwhile. And it looks like we just have him building up, getting those gases up. Meanwhile, we do have the Zerg player getting his +1/+1 and Zergling speed. Getting his Zergling speed going right now, so it looks like he is getting... And we do have the Corvid reactor now being researched for our Terran player, which is, if anybody doesn't know, that's the +25 energy for Ravens. And he does currently have 3 Ravens on the field. So it looks like, ooh, he is flying those Ravens away. Is he going to spot those Ravens? He sees the tech lab and decides to contaminate it. Maybe he's trying to stop cloaked Banshees. But I don't believe he saw that Raven tech. And we do have this command center flying out here. Looks like it's going to land at the 6 o'clock position and get started. And meanwhile, we look in the Zerg base. It looks like, is he concerned about that tech lab? We will see. He does have 2 Evo chambers, so he can easily throw up some spores. Spire tech is on the way, as well as getting central fugal hooks for his banelings. We do have 1 spore crawler in the natural, and no spore crawlers yet in the main. So it looks like he's not too concerned about Banshees, but it is definitely a possibility on his mind, seeing that tech lab on that starport. Now also getting the high sec auto tracking, which for many of you who don't know about this upgrade is not a popular one to get. It gives you +1 range to your auto turrets, missile turrets, planetary fortresses, and your point defense drones. So it definitely looks like we are going to be seeing some kind of mass Raven play, as we do have 5 Ravens now moving across the map. And we'll see what these these Ravens could do. Doesn't quite have the Hunter Seeker missile upgrade researched yet, and it looks like these Ravens will be spotted by these Zerglings. So let's see how this transition comes into play. Oh, looks like we have massive auto turrets now being spawned here from our Terran player. This 1 Raven is starting to get very low. Is that Raven going to get taken out? Yes, it looks like that Raven was taken out. Down to 5 Ravens here. Just spawning massive amounts of auto turrets in the main base of our Zerg player. Queen's getting taken out quite quickly, actually. And it looks like even Overseers are getting taken out, as he was worried about that Banshee, but it looks like he should be more worried about these auto turrets, as it looks like his spawning pool and hatchery are both being focused down. These auto turrets are lasting for 3 full minutes, which is a long time in the game to have a constant minigun shooting at your base. Alright, meanwhile these Ravens are still flying around, still now up to 6 Ravens in the base. We have a 7th Raven heading on its way over. We do have the pathogen glands for the Infestor, getting the Terran building armor, as well as getting the Hunter Seeker missile. I wonder if the building armor has to applies to these auto turrets. I would assume so, since it says Terran building plating. So it looks like these auto turrets are going to be able to do even more damage. It looks like he wipes out the entire main base. Luckily for our Zerg player, he did put all of his production capabilities down here at his natural, so he is currently safe for now. Meanwhile, we do have a small contingent of Zerglings 27 Zerglings to be specific, so that's not exactly a small number sitting outside the main base of the Terran. We'll see if he decides to morph those into Banelings or not. We do have 6 Infestors morphing in, as well as getting some Corruptors now, so it looks like he's going to try and use the Corruptors to deal with these Ravens. 8 Ravens now on the field for our Terran player, so it looks like Mass Raven is a good way to deal with this, but if you know your opponent's going Mass Raven, you could definitely always decide to build, and it looks like these Ravens are going to head down here into the natural and start working on doing some damage to the natural. Meanwhile, we have several bases here going up for our Zerg player. He's got the 7 o'clock base taken, or the 8 o'clock, the 7 o'clock, and this natural out here taken as well. So it looks like we do have lots and lots of damage. These auto turrets are getting taken down, and yes, that building armor does apply to those auto turrets. Auto turrets with 3 armor lasting for 3 minutes and doing 8 damage a shot is some sick amounts of damage. Ravens do get taken out. We currently have these fleet of 4 Ravens up here. As we do have these 4 Ravens still left alive, heading on their way back home. Alright, let's see. What is the Terran player building right now? Sorry about the interruptions. My phone keeps going off, and it's crazy amount of texting that I'm getting, and it's kind of difficult to do both cast and